You're mine, mine.
You are now tuned into Philly's Morning Joe with your host, Joe Castro. Now, you might not like us, but we know you love us. So grab your cup and get ready to talk some Eagles. Go Birds.
Castro, aka Philly Fresco, another episode of Philly. This is the episode I feel like we've been waiting for. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco. Another episode of Philly the podcast, but not just another episode. This is the episode I feel like we've been waiting for all season, maybe waiting for since the last time we had one like this. But I got a good friend, an amazing representation of what Philly is, somebody that I think me and him have been kind of following each other for a little while now. Over the past couple of months, I've really been able to kind of get together and do some great things. Good friend of mine, I feel like I can say that now, Black Gritty. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
You can definitely say it. If you get jammed up, you can call me. I'm gonna pick up. You know what I mean? It might take me a little while to get the flight scheduled, but I'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, no, and we'll start there, man, because like I said, over the past couple of months, over the season, me and you have been able to work together. I've been on your show a couple times, finally getting you on mine. I want to start where we started, right? We started around, I want to say the Falcons game. After the Falcons game, we were up and down. Things that were said were kind of preseason games. We didn't really know who this Eagles team was. Take me back to then, and if you could talk to your then self, what would you maybe tell yourself to calm down about? Was there some things you maybe felt right about? Talk to me about just kind of where you are compared to where you were.
Well, you can check my bio. It says I'm from the future, and I was 100% accurate. I don't even know what we said, but I know that my feelings have not changed. I was extremely upset because he dropped that ball, and the situation we were in, it was Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins ain't never won nothing, never did nothing, and we were all just really upset with the team. The team was upset with themselves, and it wasn't just the issue of, oh, it's the Falcons. It's once you beat the Packers and you do what you do and you come out and then you drop to the Falcons, you're like, Then we had to look forward to the Saints, and the Saints were at that point the juggernaut of the NFL, and everybody's like, oh, they're putting up 50 points. Derek Carr's moonwalking and grabbing his crotch on people. Like, what are the Eagles going to do? So it was just a tailspin time period to be in, you know what I mean? And dealing with the Bucks and Todd Bowles, where it was like the meltdown of everybody being upset it was okay for the fans because the players felt that way. But we also knew that AJ was not there. Goddard was banged up. Like, we had reasons, but those reasons didn't even give us a good, valid excuse for taking that L or taking those L's. So I feel like we were all right in line, like being pissed off. Like, it was fair for the fans to be as angry as they were because the team was as angry as they were with themselves. Saquon was kicking himself in the butt because every New York person was waiting for him to make a mistake. See, that's what we were talking about. Saquon can't catch. Good luck with that. And now look at them crying themselves to sleep night after night, month after month, week after week, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, because he's in the Super Bowl. Oh, that feels so good. So I say we were right. We were all right. I don't care how you was feeling. I assume we were right.
And it sounds good to hear it. It feels good to say that we're in the Super Bowl. Seeing Saquon with his daughter, I didn't cry. I'm not going to sit here and say on live, but once we get off live, I will tell you I cried my tail off. It is such an amazing, and we talked about this off camera. I'm not going to give away too any cookies. I'm not going to give any of your cookies away. You got some amazing things in the future coming for you. But we talked about it off camera about authenticity and just what this city has been, what this city is, and kind of how this team has mirrored it. You go back to that Tampa game, right? That Tampa game, I was there, unfortunately. I live out here, you know that. So, it felt like the walls were falling down. It felt like whatever, the sky was falling. It felt like every bad terminology, analogy you can use, it felt like that. But I feel like there was something that clicked there, not just winning a bunch of games after that, but you saw the change and dichotomy of this actual team. You saw Nick Sirianni kind of take on a different leadership role. You saw this offense lean on someone different. We, for so long, were just leaning on Jalen Hurts, wanting him to go out there and throw for 300 yards every game. This year, I feel like we said, listen, we know what we are. We know who we are. Let's go out there and be that. In your opinion, because to me, I put it on that Tampa game, but I know that has to be more. In your opinion, what do you think kind of flipped that switch? Because we can all say, Saquon Barkley's great, but they weren't giving him 30 carries a game until, after 4 games. What do you think kind of hit that switch for the Eagles? And who should we be thinking, I guess I should say.
So, especially on other people's shows, I like to talk in absolutes and act like I know everything. That's why I say I'm from the future. So I'll tell you exactly what happened. In that Tampa game, 2 things happened. Todd Bowles goes out and does what he always does to us, and their offense did what we weren't ready for. They had a quick game. They had a strategy. And when you watch the game, you're like, man, another team has a strategy against us, as to where we, again, didn't have Goedert. We didn't have A.J. Brown. And I don't care who you think the best player on the team is. We can't win a game without A.J. Brown. That's all I know. Yeah. AJ Brown has to start and play. I don't care if he doesn't get a catch, but he has to be on that field for us to get George W. So not having him out there, everybody was upset about the loss, even though you have the caveat of knowing that people were missing. What really set the team off was when you heard the mic up and you heard Quinyon out there dogging Evans, treating him like somebody's redheaded stepchild. And then you hear Maddox, are you still playing the game? Can we play the PlayStation? He goes over to Slay. You better tell that young boy. He's like, yo, I can't tell that kid nothing, bro. He ain't playing no games and he ain't trying to make no friends. And everybody's like, so you mean to tell me this rookie is out here giving Mike Evans the business and you're trying to play video games with him and you're trying to go out to have a snack after the game? It made everybody feel uneasy. Then Nick comes out, shaves his head, got his kids as a shield. That was embarrassing for him. He had to get a talking to and get chewed out in his ear. Then Cooper DeJean gets healthy and comes in and takes Maddox's place. And he ain't asking people for their PSN login identification, okay? This dude out there hitting and sticking. And the Whites got real exciting real quick. And that's what turned the team around. The head coach going a little Brittany out of control, yelling at fans during a win at home, and Cooper DeJean coming in changed everything around because Vic could finally do what he wanted to do with the defense, and everybody was in their place. And I tell you one last little thing, mid-play Slay after that Tampa Bay game, after that mic'd up came out, his whole season turned around. Yeah. His whole Eagles career turned around. After that game, he's been big play Slay. I call him mid-play Slay all the time. For a long time now, he's been mid-play Slay, no-play Slay. After that Tampa game, when that mic'd out came out, they were real embarrassed, bro. The DBs were embarrassed. So after that, I'm like, He's hitting people. He's tackling. He's getting injured every 3 plays, having to go out for 3 plays and coming back in and playing. His aggression level went through the roof after that mic'd up got leaked, and you heard how that kid was treating Mike Evans. And Mike Evans was like, yo, you hear this guy? You hear how he's talking to me? And then you look up, you're like, he's giving up 1-2 catches a game. Slay was like, nah. I can't have a dude under my wing outshining me. And ever since then, Slay has turned his game around. Like I said, shout out to him. I've given him so much hell. I don't add him about it, but I've talked about him. I've talked about how bad his camera is on his podcast. My system's better than his. And he got all this money. But yeah, he is turning it around. So, I mean, that Tampa game did a lot for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and he still has me blocked. So if he sees this, come on, bro. Like, let's get over it.
That's why I don't add him though. When I say mid-play Slay, I don't add him. I just be talking my trash in my own open space. I never add players, especially on nothing negative, because they already got their own stuff going on. I don't need to be. But I'll say their name. I won't at them. Like I said, I say mid-play Slay.
I never will again. I learned my lesson. I apologize. I want banana pudding. Let me back in the group.
I learned that from Brandon Graham, because when I saw how fans were just going at him online, and I still never did it, but I was like, I'm never going to be that guy. Like, when I'm angry, I'm not going to be you messed up my parlay, or you suck, you shouldn't have got drafted. Like, I'll say Brandon or our Graham, I'll say whatever, but I'm never going to at them directly with it, because they get too much of it, bro. They got the crazy, like, you might just be frustrated. Like, we might just be frustrated as fans, but then you see the wild people like, I hope your house burns down, like all the crazy stuff. So I'm like, I don't want to be lumped in with them people. So
that's fair. That's very fair. I mean, you're right. Especially in high stakes situations like this. I feel like, you look back before 2017, nobody would, if this was 2016 and we were going against the Chiefs or whoever it is, and they were having a 3-peat. I mean, you saw it in 2017. The world would be on our side just because they're like, wait, they never won. Who cares? But now it really feels like the NFL hates us. I feel like we've said it before. Philadelphia, we feel like everybody hates us. It's, it's us versus everybody. But this year, it really feels. I've heard a lot of people say, I'd rather see Kansas City win than the Eagles and have to hear them. I love it. But I want to ask you, because you are kind of dived into the media world. You're around a lot of people. You do your shows. So you probably touch more hands that have this feeling than not. A lot of people are hating on this squad in general, especially Jalen Hurts. How do you take it? Because the only way I really look at it, and when I hear them saying, oh, Jalen's not this or this guy's not that, it just feels like they don't want to see us do well. They don't like Philadelphia, maybe because it's fans, whatever it is. What do you take it as? How can you kind of rationalize what people say on the media, I guess?
So the first thing I'll say is it's hard being a black quarterback still in this league. Lamar Jackson has an issue with it. Patrick Mahomes gets the pass, even though his father's black. He gets a pass because of, one, the greatness that he has achieved, and two, because he leans politically with the brotherhood. The way he speaks, the way he carries himself. Like when you talk to Jalen, it's like talking to a preacher versus talking to a guy that goes to church on Easter Sunday. There's a different vibe to it. And the real thing is that Philadelphia media is hard on him. So it starts hard at home. And all these guys are like, oh, well, Nick Foles won us a championship. Yeah, but Nick Foles isn't the greatest quarterback in Philadelphia Eagles history. It's Donovan McNabb. And Donovan McNabb got it hard. So just even that caveat of like Donovan never getting over the hump. And then you have Wentz, who fell out of grace. And it's like, well, I don't want to give Jalen's only a second-round pick. You can only win with a first-round pick. And I'm like, but you just keep talking about Nick Foles. It doesn't have to be. So it's one of those caveats where at home we're already hard on our stars. We already, everybody loves Allen Iverson now. When Allen Iverson was playing, Allen Iverson was going through it. And I mean, truth be told, he was out in the clubs. He was stripping and dipping. But I mean, he was going through it. And so that makes it hard. But Jalen was like, oh, Jalen should smile more. Yeah, he was smiling back in 2019, 2020, 21. When he went to the Super Bowl, he was smiling. He was up on that podium. He was singing, fly, Eagles, fly. Now it's all business, bro, because the Philadelphia media, nobody's having it. And then they get mad that he doesn't answer questions. I'm just here so I don't get fined. If I say Nick Sirianni's cool, I don't like the coach. If I say everything's all right, I don't like the coach. If I say this, So he just goes about his business, and people don't like that either. You can't give me what Tom Brady walked around here and said, whatever Bill Belichick said, on to the Patriots, on to the Chiefs, on to the whatever. Nobody said anything about it. Jalen's doing the same thing. He comes from a coaching tree of greatness, of greatness. That's why he looks. I'll tell you exactly why he doesn't like Nick Sirianni. Imagine you're at war every day with a war general who's out there destroying planets, and then you come back to a training general who's never been in the field of battle, and his talk ain't the same, bro. When he was in college, he had one of the greatest coaches that ever walked this earth.
True.
Then he goes to was Ohio State? Where'd he go?
No, he went to
Wherever he went.
Oklahoma.
I don't care about college football because I hate college football. But then he went to another and had somebody else who was just in his ear. He's had 9 different offensive coordinators. Nick Sirianni doesn't have his own offense. So when it's like, oh, why doesn't he like Nick? Because I can't sit in this room and talk offense with this guy.
Yeah.
I've had Chip Kelly. I've had Steichen. I've had the one time Nick had the offense, it was like a dude was playing Madden. So I can understand why he's a little bit adjacent to it. But Jalen just gets a hard rap because it's Philadelphia, and we're the hardest on him, so it makes it easier for everybody else to get on him. Joe Burrow ain't made the playoffs. Yeah, they dink and dunk on him a little bit, but they don't talk about him like they do Jalen. All he does is win.
I don't know how Joe Burrows is the comeback player every single year.
Oh, I lost you on the audio.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But I got a couple more questions for you, and we'll let you get out of here. I know you're probably excited for this Super Bowl coming up. I am. That's why I'm like stuttering over everything, because it's like, is it 6 o'clock yet? Is it time to go watch the Eagles go win this game? We've won a Super Bowl, so that's no longer the feat that we're trying to accomplish, right? We've been to plenty Super Bowls at this point. This is our 5th, I believe now. Lost 4 of them, won one of them. We'll see what happens with this one. What will this one mean more to you? What would this one mean? Because to be 100% honest with you, with me, I don't know what it is 100% yet, and I'm still trying to kind of connect the dots of it. But something feels different. And I cried when we won that 2017 championship. So I don't know how much worse I can get than that, but I'm going to ball. I'm going to ball because I really do. And maybe this is it, but I feel a connection to this team. We're a young team. I just feel like we talked about off of camera as well. They just have that sense of just, it's real. It feels like Philly. It feels like they're really mirroring what we are as a fan base. So it just feels different, and it feels a little bit maybe more special than 2017. Where would you rank this if we go out there and win this game against the Chiefs and their three-peat? Where would you is this better than 2017? Or you feeling the same feelings? How do you feel about that?
So I don't give a LL Cool J about 2017. 2017 is Nick Foles, and it was a special unit. It was one shining moment, a backup quarterback going on a run after he looked like trash in the first part of the playoffs, and that's just magical. So I'm going to take that and put it up on the magic shelf, and I'm thankful to the football guys that we got that. I'd rather talk about the 2022 team that just went up against the Chiefs, and it's got some of the same core.
Yeah.
That core versus this core, that defense was built on one thing, and that's sacks. And the sacks only happened against teams that didn't have really good quarterbacks. They couldn't do anything else other than that, and you had Ndamukong Suh off the couch, and whatever his name is off the couch, and it was a hodgepodge because they needed somebody because they had injuries. This team, young core of Lions, coming together and gelling with some vets, guys that have been in the Super Bowl in 2022. So you flip that elder statesman to the younger statesman. No more Fletcher. Now you got Carter. A huge upgrade. Fletcher Cox, I thank you for your service, but the days of you beating double teams and commanding double teams was over. Carter is damn near demanding triple teams, which is letting Davis get through for a sack, which is letting Jalen Hinks come through and like Hunt. I'm sorry, my J Links, but the Links is getting me. Come through and get valuable playing time. The DBs, like I said, you go from Maddox to Cooper, that makes everybody better. Having CJ back, I tell you what, he's the key to going to NFC championships and Super Bowls. We had him, we lost him, we got him back, and here we are again. Just having the attitude and the swagger with this youth, what I want to compare it to is 2022. You've got the elder statesman, an upgraded running back. The line is still the line. Kelsey gone. His replacement steps right in. You can't tell the difference. The line is so good. The replacement goes out and the guard slides over and you still out here whooping tail. This is a unit that is fighting for each other, that believes in each other. And again, I'm not a Nick Sirianni guy. I call him Chirianni with the pom-poms out. But my goodness, ever since he got scolded and yelled at the fans and had the kids out there, he has changed around. He's done the hokey pokey, bro. And he's got the whole team believing. They had to fight for Nick because everybody was at the gates with the torches out. So this team versus 2022 is younger, but more mature, if that even makes any sense, bro. They're younger, but they're more mature. They're out there. They're not playing any games. They're not giving any bulletin board material. And they're fighting for Nick Sirianni. And I can't say any more than that. I know he's not Andy Reid. Shoot, Andy Reid wasn't Andy Reid. I'm tired of hearing about Andy Reid like this dude didn't choke away his first half of his career. Okay? And I'm so thankful about the refs. Now, I don't want to say that the refs do anything wrong, but the fact that the refs are talking to Goodell, the head refs got to say something, and all this gambling that goes on with all these networks, everybody better make sure that I don't see anything fugazi in this game. Because if I do, we all storm the gates. There's too much money on the line anymore to have the feeling that the refs are out there. The Texans opened up the floodgates and said, you got to beat the Chiefs and the refs. No. Travis Kelce breaking down, talking about, why is the media leading into this ref conversation? Yeah, bro, because we can see. I got eyes. The ball hit the ground and they gave you that ball. No, sir. I expect a fair game. Eagles are 5-0 on turf. It's a whole ain't no sci-fi this year. So I'm comparing this year to 2022. I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. Do what it do. We're gonna get this Georgia.
I'm ready to watch some football right now, Black.
We're gonna get this Georgia.
I'm ready. I'm ready right now. I got one more question for you.
Go ahead. I'm staying up all night, by the way. I'm staying up all night. I'm not going to bed till like 4 in the morning. I'm sleeping till 2 because I won't be able to make it, bro. So go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, it's like Christmas. It feels like Christmas Eve. I'm just ready for it to happen. I'm glad that you're the first person too, because me and you, like, we usually click. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that's overly excited about this game. You know what I'm saying? But I got one more question for you, Goody, and I'll get you out of here. All right. We've had some really good leadership throughout this season. I mean, whatever player, whatever unit you want to talk about, and we've had some really, really good pregame speeches. Personally, probably my favorite was the "Land and I Choose Violence" speech. I want to ask you, if you could choose one player from either unit to give the pregame speech to this team, who do you think would fire up the team the most? And what's like maybe a line or something you would give him to hype this team up prior to the Super Bowl?
So you're going to have other guests on, and they're going to give you a lot of good answers. I'm not going to take their answer. The first thing I'll say about Landon Dickerson, I haven't made this video and I'm slacking, and I've said it 3 times now. Nobody else has made it. I've got to do it. I love Landon Dickerson for 2 things. Every offseason and training camp, what does he do? He walks out and he says, good morning. And when the reporters and everybody don't say good morning, he walks back out. He comes back out and he's like, excuse me, good morning. And everyone has to say good morning to this 6'8" giant. I stood next to him. I got a picture. I look like a child. I never put it on the internet. I don't want nobody to see me look like that. So for him to have the good morning all summer long, and then for him to be out there in that field like, I choose violence, death, and destruction, I said, oh, buddy, somebody needs to clip them 2 things together, because it is, whoa, he turns it on, it is on. But for me, I would choose Jake Elliott. I would choose Jake Elliott. I call him Mr. Tripod himself. He's got a big third leg. He's come through for us over and over and over again, but he's had a rocky time. And I would choose him, and what I would tell him to say is, hey, the same way they've doubted us, they've doubted me. And even though more times than not, I've come through, I've also let you guys down. And then the times that I've let you down, each and every one of you has picked me up. I missed one kick, and you guys made sure we got the win. And I made sure I made every kick after that. And I apologize for letting you down, even though nobody holds that against me. I still have my job. I still have my security. I still have my brotherhood. And I tell you what, man to man, if any one of you makes a mistake, it's up to the guy next to him to pick him up and help him through that mistake, because nobody's perfect in any game. But in this game, if we stay together, that's all that matters. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I love you. And we're undefeated if I miss a kick. So nobody kill me if I miss one PAT. You see what I'm saying, baby? Let's go!
I love that. I love that. That might be the most unexpected person, but one of the best speeches I'm probably gonna hear all day.
Hey, when you married yet?
Not yet. We're engaged.
Okay.
We almost there though.
No, I'm just letting you know. If you couldn't tell, I give the best wedding speeches known to man, bro. I'm Mr. Speechify himself. But that was a good question because I didn't even think about it. But that first thing that popped in my head because I love Mr. Tripod himself. He's won me a lot of money on them big kicks. So you know what I mean, I believe in him, and he misses all his kicks to the left. If he was missing his kicks short to the right, to the left, I'd be like, oh man, he's out of it. But it's just something mechanical, and he fixes it, and he gets right back in there. So, you know that's the guy I'm having give the speech because Lord knows he better do something to rally the troops.
Yeah, we're gonna need him. This is gonna be the perfect time for him to rewrite this story on this season.
Yes.
You go out there, you're 3 for 3 with some good kicks. We will forget about the rest of the season. I promise you that. We will. I won't talk about it once.
No wind, no grass. You know what I mean? Hit the kick in the snow. Like, I mean, so it's perfect conditions. I'm ready to rock and roll.
I am too, man. Gritty, tell them where they can find you, where they can watch your shows, all that good stuff, because I know somebody out there is missing out. I know a lot of people probably already watch you, but I know somebody out there is missing out. So where can they find you, brother?
I mean, I don't have to follow you guys, so all of them are missing out. Everybody watching this is missing out. So first of all, I'm in these streets. You might see me at your grocery store. Say hi to your boy. I mean, I'll be traveling the world. You might see me in Bangkok one day, Japan the next. I'm out here. But in general, if you want to find me, just go to blackgritty.com. It's got my YouTube on there. Go subscribe. I'm trying to be like my boy Joe here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get that Castro life. You know what I mean? I'm trying to run my little old part of Cuba over here. So just go to blackgritty.com and subscribe wherever you want to for the podcast and shows. And on Instagram, I'm going to let you know right now. I'm at Black Gritty, and I'm having a hell of a good time. I'm a funny individual. Sometimes I got to toot my own horn, and I might as well do it with my boy Castro. So find your boy out here in these streets. Say hi to me. I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm all right. I'm good peoples.
Yeah, you're going to see his face a lot more. I'm not giving away no cookies. But great things are in store for my boy Black Gritty, man, and he deserves them. He is a very funny person, but one of the realest people I've met in this game. We talk off camera, obviously, and we talk about more than just football. My dog hasn't barked once. Thank you, Gritty. Thank you for your advice, brother. I appreciate you. So,
that worked out. That's good. That's good. See, every once in a while I know something. That's what's up. It's a little
I give him the stamp. If you guys could do one good thing for me today, it would be to go over and just check him out. Subscribe if you enjoy, but I'm sure you will. But Gritty, I appreciate you so much, man. You're the first person I'm doing with these shows, and it is just the perfect person to have as the first guy to kick this off. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here, man.
I appreciate you. There's only one thing left to say. Go Birds!
Gotta love my guy Gritty. You gotta love my guy Gritty. So we're gonna keep this going. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got over 150 people in the chat. A lot of you guys are on the Twitter side, so come on over to the YouTube side. We have fun as well over here. But I do got another friend. We're gonna be live a lot today. We're gonna talk to a lot of people. Now you guys might wonder why I'm bringing my guy on. All right. J Tuck knows football. Obviously, he unfortunately picked the wrong team. But my guy J Tuck is a man of many talents. When it comes to draft, that's the guy I go to make sure I'm right about stuff and kind of pick his head. He is out at the Super Bowl, I think, heading home right now. So getting a couple minutes with my guy Tuck, J Tuck. What's going on, bro? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, bro, man? Yeah, I apologize if you get some little feedback. I'm in the airport. I was actually going to stay here in New Orleans and go to the game, but I woke up this morning and said, nah, I'm out, man. I'm headed home. I had enough in New Orleans. So I'm in the airport, man, headed back to Kansas City, man. What's going on with everybody?
Man, we can't complain. You know, we happy right now. So look, I'm not going to take any shots. Well, maybe one or two. I'm not going to take not too many shots at the Cowboys, but I do want to pick your mind because me and you talked about this kind of off camera, and I was a little bit disappointed, obviously, that I'm not at the Super Bowl, but there was just not an abundance of great questions when it came to media week. And I felt like you brought, even though you're not a fan of either of the teams, I feel like you brought some great questions. So I want to kind of pick your mind. And I want to ask you, because there's a lot of people that would probably love to go to these type of events. Before we get into any, nitty gritty of it, Talk to me about the event, kind of the experience that you were able to do. You're doing some great things, obviously, with Des Bryant as well. Talk to me about the experience. Talk to me about some of the cool things you were able to do out there.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's been a good experience. Man, I've been out here since Tuesday, so I got to interview the Chiefs players as well as the Philadelphia Eagles players, man. Talk to Jalen, talk to Smitty, AJ Brown, the list goes on and on. And they seem focused. I think the thing that I noticed when it comes to the Eagles players is they seem more cool, calm, collected than they did 2 years ago. And I think that's
Mm.
because they understand that they have this weapon in Saquon Barkley, right? So things are going to be a little bit different. But, overall, man, it was a good experience. I had a media party on Tuesday. Had the celebrity game last night, the flag football on YouTube, Kai Sinet versus Team Speed. I think Team Speed won. Yeah. Quavo with the game winning touchdown from Cam Newton. Sports Illustrated parties, fanatics, like the list goes on and on, man. So if you've never been to a Super Bowl, it's definitely a good environment. I mean, even if you're not, I mean, honestly, if you look at the landscape, there's a lot of people who aren't Chiefs fans or Eagles fans
Yeah.
out here. I mean, I saw a bunch of Saints fans, of course, Cowboys fans. I saw a bunch of Bucks fans out here. You know what I'm saying? Bunch of Bucks jersey. So this is a good environment. Bourbon Street was packed, jam packed. Man, I had to get up off of it last night because I was like, "Get me up out of here." Because once the night started to fall a little bit, it started to get a little wild and crazy, man. So overall, good experience. Um, but Joe, going back to your first question, man, it's partially the reason why I'm leaving, right? Because even though it's been a great experience, got to do a lot of incredible things. Salute to Diz and the entire team. It's just like I agree with you, bro. We kind of came this content space at the same time, um, but I felt like it kind of rubs me the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Pause if
Mhm.
you want to. Is that, I know there's a lot of incredible people, such as yourself, such as, Brunson, such as Mike, such as, list goes on, that can cover this Eagles team and really cover it much better than the people who are out here. It is crazy because I was dog walking these people and I'm not even an Eagles fan. You know what I'm saying? But like, so it was like, I know there's incredible talent that can, cover this team and give the fans what they really want because you guys bleed, Philadelphia green, but you're not given the opportunities. And so I kind of
Mhm.
set back just this week and my blood started boiling. I've been on the phone this morning, like, I have to change that. You know what I'm saying? I have to find a way to change that because you should be here too. Like Brunson should be here too. Mike should be here too. Like a lot of these people should be here too, covering the team because you guys are not getting the answers that you want. Here you are going to your second Super Bowl in 3 years, and a lot of questions are being asked about Taylor Swift and but
Mhm.
it's just very high level junk food content. But these are the people who are highly respected. But for us as content creators, we still are viewed as these bottom feeders. And I personally feel like, and I'll say this for anybody, whether you're Eagles content creator, Tampa, Bucks, Cowboys, whatever, we can wipe the floor with a lot of these people, and I'll bet money on that. So I just think it's something that has to change. But you're seeing a few more content creators get out there, but it should have been a whole lot more, right? But there's so many different red tapes and you have to go through, man. So it just didn't sit right with me. So
Yeah, and it's an awesome experience. Obviously we were able to do the draft together and everything. And one thing I will say is that a lot of the murmurs, a lot of the stuff that I learned, a lot of the stuff that I spoke about on shows afterward were stuff that happened behind the scenes, right? Kind of
Mhm.
talking to other, content creators or reporters or anything like that. And I'm sure it's kind of the same with the Super Bowl. So, kind of going back to the game, were you hearing other people talking about this game? What do you feel is kind of the feeling amongst reporters,
I
amongst the
think I
media?
think when it comes down to the game, right, it's a coin flip, right? I think a
Mm.
lot of people don't know which way to really sway. I think it's going to be a coin flip, because when it comes to the Eagles, we know it's a different type of team than we saw 2 years ago. It was more pass led. Jalen Hurts, Smitty, AJ Brown, but now Saquon Barkley is the X factor. But where a lot of people are saying is like, hey, the Chiefs have seen some killers. You know what I'm saying? They faced
Yeah.
Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? They went against James Cook. So like they've seen some killers on the ground and they played well. So you have a Chris Jones, you have a George Karlaftis. There's a lot of different pieces when it comes to today's matchup, how things are going to go. I think whoever wins the turnover margin is going to put themselves in the best situation, and don't give up the big play. I think it's going to be a quick play that can flip the game either way. Not sure what the hell's going on here at the airport, so I apologize once again.
You're good.
Um, but the thing, like, so a question like I asked, right, and this is like for me, right, for you, for some people watching your channel, we're football nerds, right? So I know that covering the Chiefs at the home team, they don't do well versus tight end. So I sat down with Nick Bolton and I was asking him, all right, bro, what are you going to do versus Dallas Goedert? And so he kind of gave me some insight about covering Dallas Goedert, staying in his hip pocket, those types of questions. So those are things I want to know. Also, when it comes to Devontae Smith, I asked him a question. Everyone's looking at like, ugh, what kind of question is that? But it's like, I noticed the Chiefs are playing a lot of cover two during the regular season. During the playoff run, they're playing a lot of cover four. Well, if you look at Devontae Smith's numbers versus cover four, Smitty's like the cover four killer. So if you're sitting in soft zones, he could eat all day, right? So those are the things I want to know personally. I know a lot of your followers and even my followers who are Eagles fans want to know like the real stuff. I don't want to care about Devontae Smith's eating regimen for the suit, like what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like, so, I get it, right? You've been in these rooms, Joe, whether it's a draft or a senior bowl or other things. Not everyone's really equipped. They just want to ask a question. But I feel like for the Super Bowl, man, there's really things that diehard fans want to know. And that sounds like the right people were in the room to ask those questions.
Yeah, and obviously we talk about the draft a lot, and I know you have a lot of pets when it comes to the draft. A lot of favorite players. You're an FSU fan. You got to speak to Johnny Wilson. How was that?
Yeah.
You asked some great questions. How was that? Just kind of seeing again. I know that this isn't your team, but seeing a guy that you've watched, that you were a big fan of, seeing him at this level, and I even spoke to you, kind of off camera about it, and saying he wasn't supposed to be a guy. He wasn't really supposed
Right.
to be a guy. Got drafted really late. We both really
Mhm.
liked him. What was it like kind of seeing a smile on a kid like that's face that you're a fan of and seeing him live a dream?
Yeah, it felt good, man. Like I said, because you guys know I'm a Florida State guy, and to see what he went through last year, being crushed and being denied the opportunity to play in the college football playoffs, to now being in the Super Bowl, man, he was smiling from ear to ear. And once again, right, when you're walking around these rooms, it's Cooper DeJean, it's Saquon, it's Darius Slay, and then there's Johnny Wilson sitting at a table, and no one's like even go. I'm like, hell no! Like I went beelines, like I was looking for Johnny. So it's like those types of stories I feel like need to be heard because this
Yeah.
kid was robbed of his opportunity last year, but he's getting an opportunity to kind of bounce back. Is he kind of high in your rotation? Absolutely not. But when he gets the opportunity, he's playing well. He's doing the block. He's doing all the dirty, gritty things that it takes to kind of lead to a championship contender, man. So he's excited. I talked about, the opportunity of playing with Jordan Travis and now playing with Jalen Hurts. Going against your former teammates in that first round, the Rams of, yeah, I know Eagles fans hate the verse monster, but my dog Jared Verse, also Braden Fitz. So like there was a lot of quality questions out there and other stories that wasn't just Saquon. And like I tell you, like the craziest thing, one, you guys know I scouted Cooper DeJean heavily, right? I scouted Cooper DeJean heavily. Me and Joe had conversations like, stop trying to put him at a safety because he's white, right? But man, I had no idea he was a rock star in Philadelphia. It was Saquon, Curtis Booth, and Cooper DeJean, which is like, and I was like, I mean, I get it, but here's Quinyon, and so I walked right up to Quinyon Mitchell, like, bro, here's the first round pick, like here, what I'm saying? But it's like, hey, I kind of get it. But yeah, man, there's a lot of good stories, man. Jordan Davis was incredible, fun guy. It's crazy, right? You think about how big Jordan Davis is. And the last year when we was talking about standing up to Landon Dickerson looking like a child, right? But even being next to Jordan Davis, y'all, he's still not the same size as Cam Newton. Like Cam Newton towers, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, it's so weird, but it's like the hard part is like I get it, right? Cowboys guy in Eagles territory, you're supposed to hate the Eagles, right? But once you get up close and talk to these guys, they're just like you and me, man. Like, I'm saying? They're just playing a game. So it's like I can't hate these guys because of our stuff that goes on between us as a fan base, right? So AJ Brown, another incredible interview, gave some good insight. So yeah, man, Jalen Hurts as well. Even got to talk to Kellen Moore, which it seems like he's going to accept the Saints job here soon, after today. So,
Yeah, that's a story for another day. We're gonna try and act like that's not happening in Philadelphia. But no, you
right.
bring up a lot of these guys that you've scouted, and the linebacker, he's escaping my name that plays for the Chiefs. I know you were high on him prior to really anybody yet. His name's escaping me, but
Nick Bolton.
Thank you. Yeah, you were high on him prior. That was kind of when I started really looking at you like, okay, what are you doing that's so much different? Because you were very high on him. You were very high on some of the guys that the Eagles have. You got a lot of pets out there, right? So I'd be remiss to not ask you this question. I warned you I was going to be a little bit all over the place. Who should we be looking at next? So, pull out the crystal ball. Who are a couple names that maybe you're looking at that you're like, oh, these are the guys I don't want the Eagles to get? Because that's always what it comes down to, right? We're always telling each other, don't put him on your draft.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, man. I don't know if I want to put this out there. I mean, as far as the running back position's concerned, like there's some dogs out there. I don't think that you guys would go running back, but there's so many out there. I'm like, yikes. Wide receiver, there's some guys, but the guy that I would be kind of fearful that the Eagles got would be Deion Walker out of Kentucky, defensive tackle. And he is a guy that when you look at the measurables, it's off the charts, right? But he doesn't have the consistent technique and also the motor. But if you bring him around Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Vic Fangio, if he returns, right, and tosses him into that rotation, you could have maybe a third round player that's top 10 potential, right? So he would be another player that I could look at and just be like, damn it, they did it again, man. I got Howie blocked on my social media, so hopefully he's not following me. So Deion Walker would be one of those guys. Edge rusher Mike Green if he was to slide a little
I love
bit.
him, yeah.
But I think you guys are set at corner for the most part. Talks about Darius Slay possibly moving on, but I think you guys are good at corner. But there's another corner, one of my nose, right? And Azare Thomas, his brother plays for the Dallas Cowboys, but Azare Thomas, man, he is size, a dog. So if you were to have Cooper DeJean, Azare Thomas, and Quinyon Mitchell, it's like shit because you really get the back end coverage, and then Jalen Carter starting to merge. So those would kind of be the guys running back wise. You know, yeah, I don't think you guys would go running back in the first round. But the thing is, with this draft being so deep, there's going to be guys that you could get in the second round or third round that can be just as good as first round guys. You guys know I'm extremely high on my guy. Devin Neal out of Kansas. Devin Neal's one of my favorite running back prospects. Got him heavily. Crazy intangibles. Trying to think, what other positions are y'all looking at?
Tight end. I think tight end is an important. I mean, I know everybody's talking
Oh
about Fannin
yeah, I don't
versus
know if I want to bring
Warren.
up tight. I don't know if I want to bring up tight end because there's some dogs out there. Addison Gaskin the second out of Syracuse. Yeah, he's a freak, man. One of my favorite tight ends. Of course, you got Tyler Warren. And Loveland out of Michigan. So there's some tight ends out in this draft that are like crazy. Even some 6'6" monsters. So yeah, I think the thing about the Philadelphia Eagles, especially when it comes to the draft, is like they're not complacent. So if one of those guys are happening to slide, they see what they like, they'll go get them, right? Unlike the Cowboys, we kind of hope he falls and gets sniped. If there's a tight end that's sliding, I think that Tyler Warren will probably go, but you can have Loveland, who's a good like balanced tight end, blocking, catching, do those different things, right? He can possibly slide in Howie range that you guys can go get, but there'll be some guys on day two or back of their draft that you guys can go get as well. So, yeah, man, I think it's a good situation to be in, because you guys don't hesitate to trade up and go find some value. So,
Yeah, I appreciate
yeah,
you
someone just
putting
commented,
your
right? Walker's bigger than he makes Jordan Davis look small. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he's one of those guys. It's just like if you can find the tools to get him to go, if he could, because I did a film session on my channel. I'm like, when he goes, it's scary. You know what I'm saying? But then you got to wait a few plays in between, maybe even a quarter, depending on what game you watch. And there it is, right? So if you can get that consistency, but you might not even need that with a defensive interior rotation that you guys already have. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a scary steal for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he kind of feels Howie-ish to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this draft. I think this is a really, really good draft. People are, lauding over the Senior Bowl, which rightfully so. There's a lot of good players there, but there's a lot of good players in this draft. So I'm excited. I had to
Yeah.
pick your mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be following you and sending it to Howie. So just be
Yeah.
ready for that. But
Yeah.
last question I
Yeah.
got for you, man. And I appreciate you. I just want to say I appreciate you putting, again, your fandom to the side. This is why I asked you, because I knew you could just come on here, talk football with me, and you were out there. So I do appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Last thing I do want to ask you though is we talk as football fans, right? We all know what this win would do for the Kansas City Chiefs, for Mahomes, for that three-peat for Andy Reid. We can talk about it for hours, but I'm not gonna. I want to
Right.
know from your perspective, from an NFC East perspective, what do you think this Super Bowl win could mean for Jalen Hurts' legacy? Do you think that this puts him in a conversation that he maybe was not in prior to this season?
It depends on how he plays, but I think it means a lot for the NFC. For the standpoint is that I feel like NFC quarterbacks get slighted because we don't get the Pat Mahomes tax, right? I feel like,
Mhm.
oh, well, Josh Allen went to 3 overtimes with Pat Mahomes, so he gets coined as a goated, right? Joe Burrow beat Lamar, like so they get the Pat Mahomes tax. Where it's like I feel like Jalen Hurts is just as good as a lot of these guys that they gas, but it's just like they don't
Yeah.
have those big moments, right? The same thing with Dak Prescott. I mean, even Baker Mayfield last year, Baker Mayfield was setting the league on fire and no one cared, right? So, I feel like it would be big to kind of put that on the NFC, like, yo, they got some good talented quarterbacks over here as well. Now, if he goes out there and he throws for 100 yards and only throws 12 times and you guys still win, it's all Saquon, you might not get that. But at the end of the day, winners win, right? And I will say that about Jalen Hurts. He's a winner. You know what I'm saying? He comes from
Yeah.
Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like he's a winner, right? And winners just find ways to win. It might not be the cutest ways. Tom Brady's, all of his wins wasn't cute. Right, even Pat Mahomes, like all of his wins hasn't been cute, right? But you get the job done. So I feel like kind of checking the temperament from Jalen. He seems cool, calm, collected. I'm expecting Jalen Hurts to have a big day today. I think he's going to have a big day today. I think Kansas City's going to force him to put the ball in the air, but I think he's going to be ready. 'Cause like I said, if they're going to play that soft zone or press, I know Spags likes to blitz a lot. Well, if you're going to impress AJ Brown, bro, you definitely got to be careful. So I feel like the balance of the Philadelphia Eagles offense is going to be a lot for the Chiefs defense to really cover. And so I feel like Jalen Hurts is going to have a big day, but it'd be cool to kind of see him get his moment, taking the Cowboys aspect out of the side. But on the other side, for the Kansas City Chiefs, a three-peat history, in the conversation, you really have to put Pat Mahomes into the GOAT situation as well. I thought you could never do that, especially since he lost to
Yeah.
Brady. But if he goes for a three-peat, it's going to be a hard to keep him out of it. So I think it's going to be a good game, man. I think it's really going to come down to the details tonight.
Whew, my heart is beating, is jumping out my
I
chest,
bet,
Tuck.
man.
Jay Tuck on all socials. I'm telling you, one of the greatest follows you'll have. Take away
Appreciate
the Cowboys aspect of it, but a funny
it.
dude, knows his football, man. Me and him have went at it. We have been back and forth, so it's good
Yeah.
to be able to bring him on here and see him shining. So Tuck, let them know where they can find you and maybe get a Go Birds before you got here.
Absolutely not. But you can follow me on all platforms at JTuck151, my YouTube channel, CFO Sports. Even though we do Cowboys content primarily, we're in draft season right now. So if you want to know about your favorite prospects like Deion Walker, I did film sessions on him. We're doing running backs. When I get back, we're going to do wide receivers. So, by the time draft hits, you'll probably know 7 rounds worth of prospects and have the film to go along with it because the draft is really my passion. But like I said, man, like, for me and Joe's like conversations kind of pivoting a little bit. I know I'm Cowboys primarily, but the way that I felt like, oh shit, I can walk in here and cover the Eagles just as better as some of these Eagles reporters, then maybe I really do need to spread my wings. So maybe that is my go birds aspect. But I think for a lot of us, conversations like don't pigeon yourself into one team because we're talented enough to cover anybody. So that's my thing, man. Good luck tonight, but I'm rocking with the home team in Kansas City to get it done. Three-peat. Let's just get it done. Hopefully, my Cowboys can step up and be in Santa Clara next year.
We'll see. We'll see, man. Tuck, I appreciate you so much. Don't miss that flight, brother. We're gonna talk very soon.
All right, bro. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Be good. Jay Tuck is the man. Hey, that takes being a real good dude, man. Because some people would not want to come on here and talk about another team's victory or another team's goals. We got 215 people in here between YouTube and Twitter. Let's get some shout outs before I do get out of here. I'm going to be back. I'm going to go live again. We have another guest coming on. I'm going to keep it a secret because why not, add some anxiety to y'all. But first of all, big shout out to my guy, Drew, with the 199 super chat. Says, let's go Birds. Let's go. Let's go. I am ready. Salah in the building. Deshae in the building. Lonely in the building. What's going on? Linda Conyers. I can't talk. I'm sorry. Says this is a very weird feeling. Super Bowl this time. It seems like it's exposing mainstream media for lying to make stories and giving credibility to content creators like Castro and others. Fans deserve the truth. I agree 100%. I agree. Who else we got in here? We got D Aldridge in here. We got JC So Cool. Who else we got in here? Bryce in here. Muscletron. I see y'all all. I appreciate y'all. Dave Dustin here says, if the refs stay out of it, the Birds should win by double digits. I agree. I think, look, I keep on trying to tell myself, let me not talk about the refs, but it's a conversation that's going to keep on coming up because it's a situation that keeps on coming up, right? It is what it is. And I just want a good game, man. I just want to go out there and have a shot. That's it. I just want to have a chance. And I think, like you said, if they give us a chance, if they let us go out there and play football, I don't know a lot of teams that can beat us, man. Shout out to Joey McKenna says, let's bring this home. Joe, go Birds. Also says, I feel a blowout coming. Eagles gonna shock people. Proved doubt is wrong. I like it. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's not even doubt at this point. I truly don't believe it's doubt at this point. It really is nothing else but hate. It really is nothing else but they just don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it be for the fan base, whether it be for Nick Sirianni, Big Dom, whether it be, Jeffrey Lurie, whether it be Howie Roseman. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's E-Rock they don't like. I really don't know at this point, but it just seems like it's a consistent hate. It's a consistent, we just don't want to see them do well. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks, but that's the life we lead. That is the life we lead. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy the content that I'm going to be giving you guys over this day. I'm going to try and bring as many friends as I can. We're going to go live as many times as I can. I am so nervous, but I am so ready. Go Birds. You guys let me know what y'all thinking, man. If you're on the Twitter side, again, come on over to the YouTube side. We do a lot of exclusive stuff over here. So if you like stuff like this, then I think you're going to like what we got for you. So other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. Happy birthday to Saquon. Happy birthday to Cooper. Happy birthday to Andre Sam. And happy birthday to whoever else's birthday is. Let's go out there and win a damn Super Bowl. Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.